So hello and welcome to the race briefing video for Sunday's North Chilterns 50k. Welcome along, thanks for joining me. My name is Chris, I'm the race director, and I'm just going to go through all the key information that you need to know ahead of getting there on Sunday. So the first thing always to say with this is if you're looking for anything in particular, you need to download the routes, you need to see where you're parking, things like that. Head over to our website. Go over to the North Chilterns 50k race page and you'll see there's all the information there. The best place to look is the info document, which is a PDF with everything on it. And then if you scroll down further on the race page itself, you'll see there's a resources section which has the GPX file and other things there. The routes kind of in lots of places on OS maps and things like that. So loads of places to get all of that information. Now I'll just cover firstly getting to the venue. So it's at Puttridge Bury, just outside Luton. Now the one thing to say on that is sometimes the postcode you put in leads you down a private road. So please make sure that you're arriving from the main road, which is the A505. If you're coming from Luton direction, you go over a roundabout, you have to get into the right-hand lane and then you're turning right. And if you're coming from the other direction, you're coming up a hill and then you're turning left into the venue. We'll put a big Runaway Racing flag at that entrance so you know you're in the right place. And then once you start driving up the long driveway, you'll see a marshal at the end and they will show you where to park. Arrival is from 7:15 onwards. And then we're running the registration from 7:30 until 8:30. I will do a short hello and briefing at 8:45. And then for this race, it's a short walk to the start, about a 5-minute walk to the start. So we'll do that at 8:50 and get you away for a 9 o'clock race start. Fantastic. So at briefing, at registration, you'll get your race bib, you'll get your safety pins. We'll also give you a map of the route, and there is a bag drop inside that you can leave a small bag. Worth saying that the car parking is very close to the start finish, so I wouldn't really bring a bag unless you're traveling by train or you're being dropped off. It's way easier to keep it in your car. It'll be more safe and secure there, and it's only a couple of minutes walk away. Alright, so heading out onto the course. So it's a beautiful course. This is the third year we've done this, and we've always had great comments on how the course works. If you've seen the map, it's kind of lots of mini loops going up and down some of the really nice hills and viewpoints in the area. 50 kilometers in total. We've got 3 checkpoints. I'll cover where they are in a minute. But let's have a look at the course signage that you're going to be following. So what you're going to have to look out for the entire route is orange arrows that look like this. They're going to come in a few different sizes, so some of them are a bit bigger. So you're just always following the orange signs in front of you. Between the orange signs, we add our orange ribbons to reinforce that you're going the right way. And that'll get you around the course. But, you know, it is 50 kilometers, and sometimes it's easy to switch off. So just remind yourself to always be looking out for those signs. Don't always follow the runner in front of you. We've had occasions in previous events where people have followed runners that aren't even part of the race. They're just out on their morning run. So remember, you're always looking out for signs. We do make it mandatory for you to have the route on your watch or your phone just as a backup in case some kids mess up with the signs or you do miss a turn and you need to backtrack yourself. So if you need to download the route, as I said, you can go to our website. There's a resources section. The best thing to do is download the GPX and then put that on your watch software of choice. If you don't have that, we do have the map on Google Maps. You can load that up on Google Maps. It will show you the route and it will show you where you are at all times. And that's a pretty good way of getting around too. It is on public footpaths throughout, so please be aware that there are going to be other trail users. Potentially there are going to be horse riders out on the route, so just be mindful of other people and animals that you see. And if you do need to slow down and walk and just be super careful around others, then please do that. And just be super careful as well not to drop any litter. It's really easy, as I'm sure you will know, to drop the caps of your gels So please make sure that you are very careful when opening your gels and putting them in a secure pocket, so we don't have any complaints from residents that we're leaving litter out on the trail. You'll find at the checkpoints we've got the Precision Hydration products. These are actually amazing because as you tear that off, it doesn't even fall off itself, it stays on this bit. These are really great, so massive thanks to Precision for providing gels, chews and the electrolyte mix for all our aid stations. Okay, so the mandatory kit that you need, I'm going to just put a list of that on the screen now, but please make sure you have all of those items on you at all times in the race. That's super important. A lot of you often query things like bringing a jacket. A lot of the faster runners, probably won't need to use that, or a lot of you won't need to use that, but it's super important if you twist an ankle or you DNF and you need a second layer. So please do carry that second layer, super important for your own safety. Shoes, trail shoes are really important for this race. It's obviously October, we've had a huge amount of rain over the last month or so. The trails, to be fair to them, are in pretty good nick. There is a lot of really good running still, but of course there's going to be some mud and there's going to be some water on the course. So, be prepared for that and bring some trail shoes, wear some trail shoes that are going to be good in those sorts of conditions. Let's have a look at the aid stations then. So 3 aid stations. Checkpoint 1 is in Barton, which is at 14.3. Checkpoint 2 is at a pub called The View at 28 k's. And the third and final one is at 37.2 kilometers at Offaly Village Hall. Okay, so we'll have everything that you need at those locations: food, water, electrolytes, gels, etc. All the usual stuff that you'd expect at a trail running race. Now, the one thing that we have to be careful of on this race in particular is that it gets dark pretty quick at or around 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. is our cutoff at the finish. So to ensure that we don't have any runners out in darkness, we're going to be pretty hot on the cutoffs at both checkpoint 2 and checkpoint 3. So if you're aiming for that 9-hour finish, you need to be out of checkpoint 2, which is the 28k mark, at 2 o'clock. So that's not arriving, that's leaving that checkpoint. So that's 2 o'clock for checkpoint 2, and then for checkpoint 3, that is 3:40 in the afternoon. So that's your 37.2k. So you need to be out of there by 3:40. If you aren't out of that checkpoint by 3:40, we won't allow you to continue because we can't allow you to be out after darkness. So we need you back at Race HQ for 6 p.m. So yeah, if you're someone that's chasing those cutoffs, have those numbers in your head and try and make sure that you're hitting those either on the dot or a little bit before. Spectators, very much welcome. So if you've got friends and family that want to support you along the route, that's brilliant. As I said, checkpoint 2's at a pub called The View. Perfect place to go and have some lunch while you wait for your runner, but please only park there if you're going to be using the pub. They don't have huge amounts of parking, so we can't be taking up space in that car park for people that aren't spending money in the pub. So if you go to the pub, make sure you get a drink, get some food. Checkpoint 1 is at a playing field. You'll have to park on the residential roads around the playing field if you want to go to that location, but that's a nice place to see your runners in. That's 14.3k, so they're going to be hitting there from about 10:15 onwards. Checkpoint 3 is at a village hall. There is no parking at checkpoint 3. If you want to find parking on surrounding residential roads, again, that's fine. You can walk over to the village hall, but please don't try and park at the village hall itself. There's only about 3 spaces which are taken up by our crew and our medical. So yeah, you'll just be turned away. So make sure if you go into that location just to come up with a plan of where you're going to park. And spectators are very, very welcome at the finish line. There's going to be pizza, we've got some beers and some soft drinks we're going to be selling. So I would say spectators welcome anytime really from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon as runners start finishing. Alright, last thing to say is if you can't complete the run and you want to stop, please try and do that at one of the checkpoints, or if you see a marshal out on the route, we'll have lots of marshals at different places that will be helping you get around the course, and we're also supported by the Bedfordshire 4x4 Response charity. So if you see a member of their team or one of our team wearing a runaway high-vis jacket, let them know that you want to stop. But If you can do it at an aid station, that's always better, because of course we've got all the supplies and the things you'll need to stay warm and get some nutrition on board while you're waiting for someone to pick you up or us to take you back to the start finish. Now, if there's an emergency or you can't get to a marshal or a checkpoint and you need to call something in, if it's a proper emergency, of course, call 999, but there's also a phone number on your bib, which is the race director phone number. It goes through to me and I can coordinate or help you from that point onwards. So I'll put that number on the screen now, but it'll also be on your race bib at any time. Fantastic. All right, guys, so thanks so much for listening. I'm going to see you down there on Sunday morning. Can't wait. See you there.